Today, the 50th, or in Greek, Pentecost, day of Easter, we remember when God did yet another new thing. As promised by Jesus before his death, the Spirit was given to us. The Spirit came soft as breath that first night of the resurrection as Jesus breathed on them. The Spirit came so gently, its presence was felt only as peace in the midst of their fear. Compassion from the one who cared so very deeply for them, reminding me of the Christmas hymn. Do you remember how silently, the wondrous gift is given? So God imparts to human hearts the wonders of his heaven. It would come again, but this time as a rush of wind and flame. In that particular moment, the Spirit needed to attract attention. It had barriers to get through. This week, we felt the impact of our breath as it was blocked by our masks, and some of us didn't like it. George Floyd felt the impact of his breath. It was taken away completely, and the one who took it didn't have any compassion. He was afraid, yeah. And so also was George Floyd afraid. There was no peace in that moment, and there still is no peace. If only the policeman had taken a moment to breathe. If only he had allowed George to breathe. None of this would have happened. Intent versus impact. Did the policeman intend for George to die? I have a hard time believing so, but it doesn't matter what his intention was anymore. Only the impact matters. Intention versus impact. How do we know what our impact is? When I spent 5 months traveling in East Africa, towards the beginning, I came across a magazine. On the back of it, it said something along the lines of, when we travel to other places, we do so to better understand ourselves than the place that we're traveling to. And I was aghast. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm here to learn about the people of East Africa. But the more that I sat with that over those 5 months, the more I realized that that was true. I was learning a tremendous amount about myself. Yeah, I was learning a lot about the East Africans too, but I was learning even more meaningfully about myself. In other words, a new environment gets us to asking questions of ourselves that we never would have thought to ask otherwise. Questions about what we do and why we do them. Such reflection proves deeply revealing and can give us a better sense of what really is important and what isn't. What our real impact is and what it isn't. In other words, we need people who are very different from us to better understand ourselves and help us grow. So it's really no accident that the first major move of the Spirit was to reach out to people from all across the world at that point. The church needed to better understand everything, who they were, what God had done in Jesus, and what God was calling them to in the world. These people, so very different from the disciples in language and dress and religion and culture, were a gift. I'm amazed at how often in Scripture the intent of the Spirit and the impact are almost always the same. I'm also amazed, and my breath even taken away, at how in life intent and impact are not. What we choose to see about one another, is often negative. It's actually a violation of the 8th commandment to not bear false witness, to truly see what the other person does in the best possible light. If we would take time to get to know one another, to know one another's intent, maybe their impact on us even might be different. Our impact on one another could be so much more impactful in positive ways. The intent of the Spirit was to gather all peoples to God. And and that was its impact. It did it that day with fire. It moved and overwhelmed its recipients not with fear, but with wonder and awe, maybe even peace. Sometimes the Spirit does come in with such drama, and sometimes it's so subtle we can perceive it only because of its impact. Compassion, peace, awe, wonder, faith, community. And so may the Spirit move in you in ways that allow breath to enter in you and all the world. As you are filled with the Spirit, may you pause to consider your intent and to learn from people who are very different from you what your true impact is, that they might help you grow. May your intent grow to be the same as the Spirit, to give life. And may the Spirit give you courage and forbearance to act in ways such that your intent matches your impact. And may you breathe life, compassion, peace, and reconciliation to a world who so desperately needs it. How silently the wondrous gift is given, so God imparts to human hearts the blessings of his heaven. No ear may hear his coming, but in this world of sin, where meek souls will receive him still, the dear Christ enters in.